Welcome to the Lutronic webinar about Genius.
What does the Genius really do? It gives us volume. So it causes coagulation in the dermis, creating new collagen and new elastin, which makes the skin thicker, gives it more volume, and changes the textural appearance to be smoother.
The Genius has insertion accuracy, impedance energy control, and intelligent temperature sensing. And these three things are really the things that set it apart from any other RF device on the market. Lutronic is the only manufacturer who manufactures its own needles. See Genius versus some of the competitor needles. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here we can see the insertion accuracy. Because the needles are so thin and have very thin tips and a sleek design, it actually goes to the depth that you set it to. The Genius is the only device that actually reads impedance and gives you real-time feedback. And because of that, we can get our full and exact energy delivered, which gives us pure coagulation. Too high of energy, you're going to desiccate the tissue. When you are in that white coagulation phase, the Genius is actually keeping you there for a long enough period of time to give you a coagulation zone. This shows those little white spots is the actual heat that you can see the energy being delivered. And again, we have a competitor where you see no heat being put into the tissue. There are no white spots with this one. So it's really hard to create volume when you don't know how much heat you're putting in, if you're putting in any heat at all. Greater power equals a larger volume of energy. So in order to get energy, we need power and time. And we found that adjusting the power is going to give us a larger volume of energy. So we really get a more effective, efficient way to deliver the energy and get those wider coagulation zones just by using more power and shortening the time. In this beautiful slide, the first one shows 20 millijoules per pin delivered at 5 watts over 200 milliseconds. The second one shows the same amount of energy delivered, but double the power, half the time, and you get almost 1.5 times the length of your coagulation zone and also a wider coagulation zone. It's also more comfortable for the patient. In manual mode, we can more precisely control that coagulation zone by adjusting not only our depth, but our power and our time. When you're treating any area of the body, you want to work in smaller sections. By treating both of your passes in a very small section at a time, you are reducing the intrapass edema. If you do a whole section and then go back and do it again, the patient is going to feel much more pain just because of the inflammation that has already begun in that area. This little picture of the face here is in the new guide, and it just kind of gives you an idea of the depth that you want to use. Of course, you want to treat every patient as an individual, judge for yourself the thickness or thinness of the skin.
So this is a before and after 3 treatments from Dr. Weiner, 1600 joule range. Here's some nice smoothing here from Dr. Ibrahimi. This is 3 treatments, around 1500 joules. This is Dr. Shah, around 1500 total joules. An excellent result from Dr. Posner, 16 to 18 range. This is also Dr. Posner, around 2000 joules.
This result is after 3 treatments spaced 1 month apart with the M49D tip. Treating abdomen after pregnancy, a depth of 2.2 to 3 millimeters with the combination of the Genius and Ultra, which the Ultra is a thulium laser. It helps to give that total skin rejuvenation where not only are you working on texture and volumization, you're now working on smoothing out the skin overall. It also helps improve the downtime. After Genius, you can see kind of grid marking, and then after Ultra, it just looks a lot more smooth. And combining Genius and Ultra not only help with the overall redness, but it also helped with pigmentation. And
from one of our trainers. And this is after just 1 treatment. This is 3 months after 2 treatments. You can see the laxity of the skin is well improved because you're thickening that dermis. 6 months post 3 treatment using advanced settings, about 1700 joules delivered per treatment.
We have the best in class radio frequency microneedling technology. It actually measures the temperature and the impedance and lets you know that your energy has been delivered. And we now can tell you more precisely how to create larger versus smaller coagulation zones by changing up your settings.
Thank you, everyone.